The church was packed, overflowing with mourners, their whispers mixing with the soft sobs of grief. Two identical caskets lay side by side, adorned with white lilies, the favorite flowers of the twins, Sophia and Isabella. Emilia, their mother, stood frozen between the coffins, her hands trembling as she clutched a faded photograph of her daughters. The entire town had come to pay their respects, but no one could believe the tragedy. How could two vibrant young sisters die on the same day? The priest began his eulogy, his voice heavy with sorrow. Sophia and Isabella were bright souls taken too soon. A gasp ripped through the crowd as one of the caskets, Sophia's, suddenly creaked open. A pale hand slipped out, fingers twitching. Screams erupted. People stumbled back in terror. But Emilia didn't scream. She didn't run. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "I knew it. I knew they wouldn't leave me." Then, the second casket moved. Isabella's lifeless body took a sudden, sharp breath. The funeral attendees were now in complete panic. How was this possible? Were the twins alive? But the real shock came when both sisters slowly sat up, their hollow eyes locking onto their mother. And then in unison, they spoke a single chilling sentence. "You lied to us, Mother." The room fell deadly silent. What did they mean? What lie? And why did they come back? The answer would unravel a dark family secret, one that Emilia had buried for 20 years. The crowd in the church was paralyzed. Some people fainted, others clutched their chests in shock. But Emilia didn't move. She just stood there, tears streaming down her face, as if she had expected this. Sophia and Isabella stepped out of their coffins, their movements slow, unnatural. Their skin was still pale, their eyes hollow, yet they were breathing. "You never told us the truth," Sophia whispered, her voice eerily calm. "You made us live a lie," Isabella added, her fingers curling into fists. Emilia fell to her knees, sobbing. I did it to protect you." The twins exchanged a glance, and in that moment, flashes of their past rushed through their minds. The strict rules, the isolation, the secrets their mother had forced upon them. Emilia had been young once too, beautiful, wild, and in love. At 22, she had fallen for a charming man named Daniel, who promised her the world. But when she became pregnant with twins, he vanished, leaving her alone and heartbroken. She vowed never to let her daughters suffer the same pain. So when Sophia and Isabella turned 18, Emilia became overprotective. "No boyfriends until you finish college. Never trust a man's sweet words. Love is just another word for betrayal." The twins grew up suffocated by her rules, but they obeyed until they met them. At 20, Sophia fell for Lucas, a kind-hearted artist who painted her portraits and whispered poetry in her ear. Isabella fell for Ryan, a charismatic athlete who made her feel alive. Both boys seemed perfect until Emilia found out. "I forbid this," she screamed, slamming her fists on the table. "They will destroy you, just like your father destroyed me." But for the first time, the twins defied her. "You don't control us anymore," Sophia said coldly. "We deserve love," Isabella added. That night, Emilia made a desperate decision, one that would lead to tragedy. The next morning, Lucas and Ryan suddenly changed. Lucas ignored Sophia's calls. Ryan publicly humiliated Isabella, calling her clingy and pathetic. Heartbroken, the twins ran to each other for comfort. "How could they do this?" Sophia cried. "Mother was right," Isabella whispered in despair. But what they didn't know? Emilia had paid both boys to break their hearts. She thought she was saving them. Instead, she destroyed them. That same evening, the twins drove away together, tears blurring their vision. "I can't live like this," Sophia whispered. "Neither can I," Isabella replied. Their car sped through the rain until a blinding pair of headlights came straight at them. The world went black. Now, standing in the church, the twins stared at their mother with cold understanding. "You paid them to hurt us," Sophia said. "You caused our deaths," Isabella accused. Emilia collapsed, wailing. "I never wanted this. I just wanted to protect you." But the twins weren't finished. "We came back for a reason," they said together, "to make sure you never hurt anyone again." The air in the church was thick with tension. The mourners had fled, leaving only Amelia, the priest, who stood frozen in fear, and the twins who now moved with an eerie, otherworldly grace. Sophia stepped forward, her voice barely above a whisper, yet it echoed through the empty hall. "Do you know why we're back, Mother?" Isabella's eyes darkened. "We weren't supposed to die that night." Amelia's breath hitched. What do you mean?" Sophia's lips curled into a bitter smile. "The crash wasn't an accident." As the twins spoke, the memories of their final moments played like a nightmare. The rain, the screeching tires, the truck that swerved right into them, deliberately. "The driver didn't even try to stop," Isabella said, her voice trembling with rage. "Because he was sent to kill us," Sophia finished. Amelia's face drained of color. "No, no, that's impossible." But the twins didn't blink. "Lucas and Ryan didn't just betray us," Isabella said. "They wanted us gone." "And you helped them," Sophia accused. Amelia shook her head wildly. "I would never. I only paid them to break up with you, not to—" But then, a chilling realization struck her. What if the boys had taken it further? Lucas and Ryan had been furious when Amelia offered them money to leave her daughters. At first they refused, until they realized they could use this to their advantage. "Your mother thinks she can control everything," Lucas had sneered to Sophia in their last fight. "But she doesn't know what we're really capable of." Ryan had smirked at Isabella. "If we can't have you, no one will." The twins had thought it was just cruel words, until the truck came for them. Sophia and Isabella didn't wake up in a hospital. They woke up in darkness. A voice, smooth, ancient, and full of quiet power, spoke to them. "You were taken before your time," it said. "Do you wish to return?" The twins didn't hesitate. "Yes." "Then you must do something for me," the voice replied. "Uncover the truth, expose the lies, and when it is done, you will have a choice." "What choice?" Isabella asked. The voice faded, leaving behind only one word. "Stay or go." Now, standing before their mother, the twins knew what they had to do. "We're not just back to haunt you, Mother," Sophia said. "We're back to make sure justice is served." Isabella's gaze turned icy. "Starting with Lucas and Ryan." Amelia choked back a sob. "What are you going to do?" The twins didn't answer. Instead, they turned toward the church doors. Just as two figures stumbled inside, their faces pale with terror. Lucas and Ryan. They had been summoned, and now they would face the consequences. The church doors slammed shut behind Lucas and Ryan, trapping them inside with the twins. The boys' faces were slick with sweat, their eyes wide with raw terror. How are you alive?" Lucas stammered, backing away. "We saw you die," Ryan choked out. Sophia and Isabella didn't answer. They simply stepped forward, their movements synchronized, their hollow eyes locked onto the boys who had betrayed them. Amelia let out a broken cry. You did this to them?" Ryan's hands shook. "We didn't mean—" "Liar!" Isabella's voice wasn't human anymore. It was a chorus of whispers, layered with something older. The air grew heavy. Shadows stretched unnaturally along the walls, twisting like living things. Sophia raised a hand, and Lucas gasped as an invisible force yanked him off his feet, suspending him midair. "You paid that driver," Sophia said softly. "You wanted us dead." Ryan fell to his knees, begging. "It was just supposed to be a scare. We didn't think he'd actually—" "You don't get to make excuses," Isabella hissed. Then in unison, the twins spoke. "You will confess." And just like that, the boys' mouths opened against their will. Words spilled out of Lucas and Ryan, their voices flat, their eyes glazed, as if something were pulling the truth from their souls. "We were angry," Lucas admitted. "Amelia paid us to leave you, but we wanted revenge. We hired the driver," Ryan said, tears streaming. "We told him to make it look like an accident." A horrified silence filled the church. Amelia let out a wail, collapsing to the ground. "My God, what have I done?" The twins didn't comfort her. Instead, they turned back to the boys. "You took our lives," Sophia whispered. "Now you'll pay with yours," Isabella finished. Their hands lifted. Just as the shadows coiled around Lucas and Ryan, ready to strike, The same ancient voice from before echoed through the church. Enough. The twins froze. A figure emerged from the darkness, tall, cloaked, its face hidden beneath a hood. Death itself had come. You have done what was asked, it said. The truth is revealed. Now you must choose. Sophia and Isabella exchanged a glance. What happens if we stay? Sophia asked. Death tilted its head. You return to life, but you will remember everything. The pain, the betrayal. And if we go, Isabella whispered. Peace, Death replied simply. The twins looked at their mother, sobbing on the floor, then at Lucas and Ryan, trembling in terror, finally at each other. They already knew their answer. Sophia turned to Amelia, her expression softening for the first time since she woke. We forgive you, Mother, she said, but you have to forgive yourself. Isabella reached out, brushing a tear from Amelia's cheek. Don't let our story end in hate. Then hand in hand, the twins faced death. We're ready, they said together. A blinding light filled the church, and when it faded, the twins were gone. Only their empty coffins remained. Amelia stood at the twins' grave, fresh flowers in hand. Lucas and Ryan were in prison, their confessions sealing their fate. She had sold the family home, donated the money to a shelter for abused women, breaking the cycle, just as her daughters wanted. As she placed the lilies on their tombstone, the wind rustled, carrying a whisper. We're at peace, Mother. Amelia smiled through her tears, and for the first time in years, she let go. A cold wind blew through the cemetery as Amelia traced her daughters' names engraved in the marble headstone. Sophia and Isabella, beloved twins, together in life, together in peace. She hadn't expected the dreams to continue. Every night since the funeral, she saw them, standing at the edge of a glowing bridge, smiling at her before fading into the light. But last night was different. Mother, Sophia's voice had whispered, look in the box. Isabella's spectral hand pointed to the old oak chest in the attic. The answers are waiting. Dust rained down as Amelia pried open the rusted lock. Inside, beneath yellowed baby clothes and dried lilies, lay 3 items that made her blood run cold. 1, a faded photo of her younger self, cradling newborn twins. But the man beside her wasn't Daniel, the father who'd abandoned her. It was a stranger with piercing green eyes. 2, a hospital bracelet, dated 20 years ago with the name Lillian scrawled in smudged ink. 3, a newspaper clipping about a car crash that killed a young mother and her infant daughter on the same day Amelia's twins were born. What is this? Amelia whispered, hands shaking. Then she saw the handwritten note tucked beneath. You saved 2 that night, but you were never supposed to keep them. The air grew thick as death's presence materialized behind her. They were never yours to protect, it murmured. Lillian's daughters were meant to cross over with her. But you begged for children. You took what wasn't yours. Amelia's knees buckled. That's impossible. I gave birth to them. Did you? Death tilted its head. Or did you wake in that hospital with empty arms and then hear 2 babies crying in the next room? Memories surged, a foggy recollection of a midnight hospital transfer, a nurse pressing twins into her arms, whispering, "Don't tell anyone." Sophia and Isabella had never been hers. A gust of wind sent the attic window flying open. 2 figures materialized in the moonlight, transparent but radiant. We knew, Sophia said gently. We always felt it. The other mother calling to us. Isabella reached out, her spectral fingers brushing Amelia's tear-stained cheek. But we chose you, just like we chose to forgive you. The newspaper clipping burst into blue flames, revealing new words beneath the ashes. Let us go. Really go. It's time. Death extended a skeletal hand. They cannot cross fully while you cling to them. Release their names, and they'll be reborn where they belong. At dawn, Amelia stood at the riverbank where Lillian's accident had occurred 20 years prior. One by one, she dropped the relics into the water. The photo, the bracelet, the twins' first baby shoes. I release you, she whispered, to your true mother, to your rightful peace. The current carried the items away as the first rays of sunlight broke through the trees. Somewhere in the distance, a baby's laugh echoed, then another, perfectly synchronized. Two souls finally free, two lives ready to begin again. And Amelia? She took her first full breath in 20 years. The morning sun warmed Amelia's face as she watched the river carry away the last remnants of the past. The weight in her chest, the guilt, the grief, the desperate love, had finally begun to loosen. But as she turned to leave, a sound made her freeze. Clear, bright, and unmistakably two voices in harmony. Her breath caught. She knew that sound. Following the sound led her to a willow tree by the water's edge. Beneath its swaying branches sat a wicker basket, and inside, wrapped in identical white blankets, were two newborn girls. Their eyes fluttered open, Sophia's hazel gaze, Isabella's golden flecks. Amelia staggered back. No, this can't be. A woman's voice, soft as the wind, whispered through the leaves. You gave them life once. Now they've chosen you again. Amelia spun around, but no one was there. Only a carved stone marker half buried in the grass. Lillian and baby Rose, together in eternal peace. The truth struck her like lightning. These weren't just any babies. They were Sophia and Isabella, reborn. Trembling, Amelia reached into the basket. One baby grasped her finger tightly. The other cooed, a sound so familiar it shattered her. But why? She asked the empty air. The wind rustled the willow leaves, carrying traces of her daughter's voices. You learned your lesson, Sophia's voice seemed to say. Now love us without chains. Isabella's tone echoed. A single tear splashed onto a baby's cheek. This time, Amelia didn't wipe it away. The social worker's office was quiet. It's a miracle, really, the woman said, flipping through files. Abandoned twins left at the river, no records, no leads. And you, an empty nest mother with a spotless foster record. Amelia's hands clenched around the adoption papers. She could walk away, start fresh, break the cycle completely. But then the baby in her arms, the one who'd reached for her like Isabella used to, gurgled happily. And she knew. Pen met paper. Signed. The backyard was alive with laughter. Two little girls in matching sunflower dresses spun under a sprinkler, their squeals piercing the summer air. From the porch, Amelia watched with a quiet smile. No more rules. No more fear. Just love. One twin suddenly broke away, running to hug her legs. Mama, come play! The other grinned, mischief sparkling in eyes Amelia would know anywhere. Yeah, Mama, don't be boring. And as she let them drag her into the sunlight, 3 words bubbled up from her soul, words she'd never earned the right to say before. I'm ready, girls. Somewhere beyond the wind, twin laughter echoed back.
Subscribe and press the bell icon so that you never miss the amazing video.